All right guys, Captain Randall here, Land of Fishing TV. So I'm just finishing up a day of fishing and I thought I would make a video on how to show y'all how I take care of my gear. I'm talking once I'm done, headed back to the dock right now, and what I do when I put my gear up, how I take care of it, how I maintain it, what I look for. Nowadays, we all spend a lot of money on gear, and to be honest with you, it's worth it. I mean, I run quality reels. I used to run $50, $100 reels and throw them away. And then I went to $200, $300 reels, and these are going on 2-3 years. And they're smooth as when I bought them. And the line, I mean, I only change that if I get a wind knot, something like that. We throw in a lot of gold spoons, we'll get a couple, you know, stuff like that. Rod wise, you know, there's certain things that if you do to them and you keep them out the sun, that they'll last forever. I mean, I got rods that I'm going on 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So let me show you how. Stay tuned and we'll go through a couple things that I like to do. All right guys, Captain Randall here, Land of Fishing. I'm gonna show you what I do on a daily basis to maintain my gear. I'm also gonna do a video later on that's gonna show you on a monthly basis what I do, but this is a daily basis. When I get back, I just pull back into my driveway. I live minutes from the dock, so I don't need to put my rods up to get on the interstate or anything like that. But if you do this step that I'm gonna show you right now first. So, first thing I do when I get home is I get the hose and I put it on the lightest setting possible, which on mine is going to be a mist setting. And I'm going to mist these reels off and rods off, okay? I do the same thing to my boat, but I use a high setting. That's the first thing I do, is rinse everything off in case I get sidetracked. I don't do any damage to the gear, you know, if I leave it in that state. So once they're all rinsed off, I'm going to grab a microfiber towel, okay? Make sure you get a microfiber. There's two different types. I buy everything I have at Costco, the Kirkland brand. That's a microfiber, okay? That is their microfiber. Do not use these from terry cloths, okay? These are terry cloth towels from Costco too. If you use these, you will get a ton of fibers on your reel. And when you start spraying them down with oils and different things, you'll have hairs all over them that'll get embedded and get up underneath the gear seats and stuff like that. So anytime I'm working on a boat, even on the hull, I always use microfiber. Because if I use a terry cloth, I'm going to have to use a static electricity brush or something to get all these little furs off the boat, okay? So once I'm done with that, I'm going to grab my reels and I'm just going to lightly wipe them down, okay? That's going to get all that salt off of it, okay? I don't want to push anything into it. It's just a light wipe down, all my guides, everything like that. We'll do a full wipe down. The next thing I'm going to do once I wipe that reel down is I'm going to loosen that drag up. Okay, this is one of the biggest mistakes people make when they buy really nice reels, is they leave the drags locked down in position to where they were fighting a fish. If you do that, that drag will get embedded and pushed down in that position. And what'll start happening is when you go fight a fish, it's going to jerk. It's going to jerk because it's going to get stuck. And it's going to pop lines because the drag is not smooth anymore. Okay, so I'm going to loosen it up as much as I can. Okay, so just where it holds it. Then I'll tighten it just to where it holds it. For to hold the line in position, but it's real loose, okay? That's how I'm gonna store my rod and reels. The next thing I'm gonna do is, once I get all my drags loosened up, is I'm gonna grab all my rods, okay? Unless you have a rod rack in your house, and this is how I travel with rods too. So if you're gonna be taking rods and rodding with them in your truck back, I never recommend rodding in the back of the truck on the tailgate and stuff like that. Those tips that are rubbing on there, they're going to continuously tap on there, no matter if they're in a group or they're singles, and that is going to be your break point of the rod. You're eventually going to put a nick there. When you go put a load on the rod's going to snap there, and you're not going to know why the rod snapped there. You're just going to think it's a bad rod. Do not put them in the bed of your truck. I ride with them in my cab all the time. I stick them between the seats and ride up to the front with them, especially if I'm going on a long haul from, you know, on the interstate and stuff like that. So I'm going to take all my rods and I'm going to put them all in a circle like that, okay? And that's going to have them all wrapped up like that. Then I'm going to use a rod tie, okay? There's all different types. There's types that are Velcro. These are little bungee cords from Berkeley, but there's a million different types. I don't think one outweighs the other. It's whatever you're quickest at putting on. And I'm going to put 2 rod ties. We'll put one down at the bottom, tighten it up, okay? Then I'm going to grab one and I'm going to go about halfway up, right above my corks, if I got corks or anything like that. 3/4 of the way up, not too high to where I put any pressure on my tips. And I'm gonna tighten the other one. That's gonna make 4 or 5 of my rods or 6 of my rods become one group. And it keeps them organized, keeps them from getting tangled up, and it keeps them from the guides sliding back and forth and hitting each other. And that's what happens to a lot of people when they put them in the truck individually, is they go to pull them out and they're catching on guides. Well, every time you catch on them, you're breaking down that resin that's around that guide, or you're possibly nicking the ceramic that's in the guide, okay? So you want to group them all together. It's easy in, easy out, organized. If I'm gonna put this in the garage on a rack or in a corner, I got my whole group of rods, I'm gonna put it in there, okay? When I get home, when I get to a rod rack, okay, I'll use a product called Real Magic. Real Magic is basically a non-slick wash down, basically is an oil protector on those rods and reels. A lot of times I'll do it as a group, okay? I'll come in and I'll just spray these reels. Spray them all down once they're dry and everything normally. And that's about it. I'll let it sit on there. I won't wipe it back off. I won't wipe it in and stuff like that. If I have any corrosion in my handles, which usually is on my monthly maintenance, I'll use an oil-based product like a Corrosion X or something like that, which I'll go through y'all within another video. But that is how I maintain my rods. You cannot allow these things to sit in the sun. It will break them down, okay? Literally, it's a matter of getting the water off, drying them off, putting a protective spray on them, and putting them into a group. You know, when you have individual rods and they hit each other, that's what causes more damage. More damage is caused on a rod and reel in the transportation process to and from the dock than what happens on the water. So if you do these couple things to your rods every time and get in the habit of doing this, your rods and reels will last you a lot longer. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Hope you're enjoying the content. Hopefully see you on the water soon.